The African slave trade in Nigeria, a story that must never be forgotten. Before chains scarred the land, Nigeria was home to thriving kingdoms and villages, Benin, Oyo, Konobonu, Igbo communities, and riverine towns along the Niger. People farmed, traded, worshipped, and lived by strong customs. Families were bound by kinship, honor, and ancestral laws. Africa was not empty. Africa was not weak. Africa was alive. Then came strangers from across the sea. Portuguese, British, Dutch, and other European traders. At first, they came with gifts, mirrors, guns, alcohol, cloth. They spoke of trade. But what they truly wanted was human beings. Slowly, trust turned into betrayal. The greatest wound came not only from the outside, but from within. Some African middlemen and chiefs, driven by fear, greed, or survival, captured fellow Africans. Rival villages were attacked. Innocent people were kidnapped during raids, wars, and even on their way to farms and markets. Brother sold brother. Neighbor sold neighbor. History reminds us that the slave trade thrived because human life became currency. Captured men, women, and children were forced to walk long distances, from the hinterlands to the coast. This journey was known as the slave route. Many collapsed from hunger and exhaustion. Some were beaten. Some never arrived. At the coast stood slave ports like Bedigri, Calabar, and Bonny. Here, families were torn apart forever. Children were separated from parents. Husbands from wives. Names were stripped away. Africans were branded, counted, and locked in dark cells called barracoons, waiting for ships that led to the unknown. At places like Bedigri stood the door of no return. Once an enslaved person passed through it, they were not expected to ever return home. Behind them, Africa. Ahead of them, the sea. And beyond the sea, bondage. Many prayed. Many screamed. Many died before boarding the ships. The journey across the Atlantic was hell itself. Men were chained together. Women violated. Children cried until silence replaced their voices. Disease spread. Bodies were thrown into the ocean. Yet, even in darkness, Africans resisted, through rebellion, hunger strikes, prayers, and songs whispered in despair. Those who survived were sold like property in foreign lands, forced to build empires that denied their humanity. They lost their names. They lost their languages. But they did not lose their spirit. Africa lived on in their drums, their dances, their stories, and their bloodlines. Eventually, the slave trade was abolished. But the scars remained. Communities were broken. Trust was destroyed. Generations were lost. The effects are still felt today in identity, inequality, and the search for belonging. This story is not told to reopen wounds, but to heal them. Because a people who forget their past risk losing their future. Africa was not born in chains. And Africa did not die in chains. This is our story. Painful, powerful, necessary. If we do not tell it with truth, others will tell it without mercy.